Hi, this is Joseph Tan here from goodmonday.com. Why emotional boundaries? This is because our heart needs to be healthy. How does keeping boundary help our heart to be healthy? Boundary helps our heart to be healthy because it inculcates a sense of self responsibility. Think about it. When nations want to govern a particular land, the first thing that they do is to draw out the boundaries of the land. So, in order for our heart to be healthy, one important criteria for a healthy heart is there be strong self governance. Because if our heart cannot rule itself, if our heart cannot be in a state where we have rulership and responsibility over our own hearts and there is no self-governance, it becomes borderless and all hell breaks loose. Let me explain. When there's no rulership over your own heart, that means the boundaries are broken. And when boundaries are broken, then the incidence of trespassing into the heart becomes even more likely. What does that mean? Number one, if you don't have clear boundaries, what happens is that intruders can easily get in. And when intruders get in because there are no clear boundaries around your heart, then they can cause hurt and disappointment. Because let's face it, not everybody in the world has got good intentions when they connect with us. And if we are not responsible to draw out the boundaries around our precious heart, you are inviting intruders. Number two, not having clear boundaries also works the other way around, because if there are no clear boundaries, the heart tends to wander and the heart tends to wander out and away, and you become double-minded, disengaged, and not being focused and having a clear direction in life. So if there's no boundary, the heart prones to wander and become distracted, and you might end up being double-minded. In other words, if there are no clear boundaries and intruders come in and you go out being distracted, you stand the risk of ending up with a broken heart. Now, in order to have emotional health and having a sense of rulership and responsibility over your own heart, it doesn't mean you become guarded. You keep guard over your heart, but you do not become guarded. Let me explain. This has to do with self-governance. Number one, you need to have high standards of the truth. Now, what does having a boundary of the high standards of truth mean? One is that you must have a strong sense of personal belief or conviction. We live in a world where there are a ton of ideas that come and flood our thinking and our heart from all over the place. If we do not have high standards of personal belief and conviction and principles that we hold to, don't be surprised if it gets into you. Secondly, having personal high standards means you have the courage to say no. Yes, to say no, because people without clear boundaries around their heart have difficulty in saying no. And if you have difficulty in saying no, guess what? The intruders come in. If you have difficulty in saying no, guess what? Your heart becomes more distracted. Have the courage to say no that's based on your personal principles and belief that is fundamentally based on the truth. Next is having high standards of grace. Because if you have truth alone without grace, you tend to be legalistic. We need high standards of grace as well. High standards of grace meaning you need to be approachable. You know, out of all the traits of leadership, this is one that is really needful, and that is for the leader to be approachable and not to set such high walls until people cannot get in and you cannot go out. What does it mean to be approachable? Now, you become approachable by being attractive, not being attractive externally, but being attractive internally. How does an internally attractive person look like? Well, this is the person with strong emotional health. There is strong self-governance. There is a strong sense of self-responsibility and accountability. Now, high standards of grace mean that I know my own heart. I know what it feels like, so I can reach out to others. Think about it. If your own heart is not in order, if your own heart is not self-governing, how can you govern your other relationships. Secondly, being able to demonstrate high standards of grace means we are able to connect with others. But we connect with others out of a place of security. We are affirmed in our own self-identity. Why? Because we have drawn clear boundaries. We know who we are. We are not distracted. We are single-minded. And that causes you to be very secure in your self-identity. And when you are secure, you can connect and reach out in grace towards others. So what does it mean? It means that we must keep our hearts with all diligence by having clear boundaries of high standards of setting personal belief based on the truth, and also from a position of security and a firm self-identity, we then can reach out with high standards of grace in being approachable and connecting with others. But it has got to come from a heart that is well kept, and the effort is worth it. Think about it. This is Joseph Tan here from goodmonday.com. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in my coaching services, either virtual or face-to-face, check out the website goodmonday.com, where you can also see a listing of my other leadership development programs. And if you like this video, well, would appreciate it if you click subscribe.